I am gonna warn you, you might be hearing the AC in the background. I did put it on because the apartment can get quite hot, especially with the amount of people that we're gonna have over later. So I do want to try to cool it down as much as possible. So I figured while we're doing this kind of intermission style of block, we can just throw that on for now. So let me change the directory. Okay. So, change the directory. We're going to be doing a tier list as we do every year while we eat some Wendy's. And I did get spicy nuggets because that is the tradition here. We do the Wendy's spicy nugs for Extra Life in honor of that 1 year that I got the Wendy's and almost died. And it was one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me. So let me just get all my food out. Those motherfuckers. They didn't give me my fucking... Wow. Wow, they did not... They didn't give me my burger, dude. Hello? Okay, that sucks. I was really looking forward to that burger. I mean, I have plenty of food here, so it's not the end of the world. But I'm a little annoyed. Uh... Yeah, they didn't... That's a problem. How can I not report like I'm missing? That's super unfortunate. I was really looking forward to that burger actually. Oh well. I have enough food here. It's fine. I guess I could call and be like, hey, didn't get me a fucking burger. Yeah, I'm gonna call. Give me a sec, guys. So they gave me a refund, but that sucks. I really wanted that burger. But it's alright. We're going to have to push forward here. So anyway, we have enough food here. I'll be okay. I was just kind of looking forward to the burger specifically, but oh well. Not meant to be, I guess. But we have chicken nuggets. We have fries. We have a drink. So we're going to start with the food break tier list block here. So a couple of years ago, I started playing through a bunch of older games that I kind of missed out on. Mostly like a lot of Xbox 360 era games that I just didn't play when I was younger for one reason or another. So yeah, we're going to tier list them here. So these are a lot of series that I've played through. And this is roughly in order, I think, of when I played them, but this is definitely not a guarantee, so. But the Batman Arkham series was the first series that I really decided to play through again. And, or again, I say for the first time. I never played through them, so. I'm going to start with Batman Arkham Asylum here. Shoo! That was my coaster. Arkham Asylum is an easy S tier for me. Game is fun. The plot is good. The action is good. The scenery and the aesthetics of just like being in Arkham Asylum with all these villains. Fantastic. Great game. Easy S. Arkham City, I'm going to put an A. I liked Arkham City a lot. I didn't like it as much as Asylum. I thought the plot was a little contrived in a sense. Also, I don't remember if I mentioned, I did put the AC on, so I'm sorry if you hear that, but I'm going to try to keep the apartment cool before people get here. Because it can get a little hot here. But, because, like, yeah, it's kind of based on, like, you know, the Joker faking his death. And I'm going to be spoiling all these games, by the way. You know, the Joker faking his death and then injecting Batman with his blood to find a cure for Titan. And, like, it was a little frustrating because it was such an obvious trap from the Joker, and Batman just fell for it completely, like hook, line, and sinker. But the game is still really good. The fighting, I think the combat is actually a little bit better in Arkham City than in Arkham Asylum. But I like the setting of Arkham Asylum better, and I like the plot of Arkham Asylum a little bit better. So Arkham Knight. It's either going in B or C. I'm going to put Arkham Knight in C. And the reason for that is, you know, elephant in the room. Yeah, the Batmobile shit gets old real fast. I think everyone kind of knows that about the game at this point. If you've played this game, you know about the Batmobile sections. You know how annoying they are. You know how shitty they can be. Nobody is surprised at this point. But it was a cool idea that was executed well, but overused is the problem. Like, mechanically, there's nothing wrong with the Batmobile. Thematically, there's nothing wrong with the Batmobile. They just used it too much, and it took you out of the game. There's other problems with this game, though. Mostly the plot, I think. Because if you know anything about Batman and, like, the story of Batman, you can guess the main villain pretty quickly. Like, I've never read a Batman comic book in my life. I've only seen a couple of the movies. But because I've heard about a lot of this plot of Batman stuff through Steve, I figured out who well, I just spoiled it. I figured out who the Arkham Knight was and it's Jason, like an hour or so into the game. I was like, okay. So it's not a bad game. It's just kind of mediocre because there's really high highs, but like really annoyingly low lows, and it gets held back by a lot. So it it can be rough. I'll just say that. So that's the Batman Arkham trilogy. I would still recommend playing all three. I have never played Origins, but it's not a bad game, just mediocre, really good, and my favorite. Moving on to Bioshock. Bioshock 1's an A tier. Great game. I would put it above Arkham City. I like Bioshock a lot. The whole series, I think, was pretty solid. Um, really cool atmosphere. Really interesting and like unique gameplay elements. Not too hard, but challenging enough that you don't just like breeze through it. And yeah, I mean, come on. That first dive into Rapture. How can you beat that, man? That is just so cool. That is such an interesting and unique experience, for sure. I like Bioshock 2 even better, though. I think Bioshock 2 is fucking awesome. The experience of getting to be the Big Daddy, after having fought so many of them in Bioshock 1, getting to be the Big Daddy where you just slap people around in the beginning of the game is fantastic. It's just an awesome experience, really. And like the combat is so refined, it's so good. There's only one single problem with Bioshock 2, and that is that the remastered version on the PC sucks in terms of it crashes all the goddamn time for no fucking reason. There are certain parts of certain levels you just can't access. Why? Why have we not? Why do we still do this to gamers? Why do we hate gamers? That's my only gripe with Bioshock 2, is the fact that the PC port is incredibly unstable. But that's not even a problem with the game, that's just a problem with the specific port. Bioshock Infinite's in B. I didn't like it as much as the other two. I do appreciate what they did here. I do like that they didn't call it Bioshock 3, and I think that was really, really smart of them. I think if they called it Bioshock 3, they would have disappointed a lot more people who were expecting another deep dive into Rapture. But instead, it's a spiritual part of like the Bioshock universe. It carries a lot of the same themes of like, you know, dystopia and, you know, the ill effects that come with that kind of society. But I respect them for not just saying, well, we can just go back to Rapture and do the same damn thing over again. I respect them for trying something different. I think the story gets really hard to follow. I'm not going to lie about that. There were points in the plot where I straight up had no fucking clue what was going on. It can get pretty convoluted pretty fast. But the combat is fun. The main character is kind of a piece of shit. He's like kind of irredeemable in a lot of ways, so it can be a little difficult to root for him sometimes. But overall, it's a decent game. Assassin's Creed 1 is bad, and we all know this. Like, it's fucking bad. Like, but I can give it points for things. It was a unique and interesting idea. It was not just another like shooter of that era, or not really like a take on something else. They definitely came up with a really cool idea. And I think that shows in the later games of the Assassin's Creed timeline. Of which I only played the Desmond Miles stuff. So I played 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and 3. But yeah, 1 was rough. 1 was real rough. Super repetitive sections. The combat was not very good. Having to synchronize like 17 times to find the next fucking story mission. Why? Having to do all that traveling by horse to do the same thing in the same city. Why? And like the cherry on the cake is that you literally can't do the missions stealthy. Because as soon as you assassinate the target, all the enemies get alerted automatically. We're playing a stealth assassin game. What? Why? So yeah, 1 sucks. But I'll give them credit. It's a cool idea. And they made much better on it 2, which is an absolutely fantastic game. Like, 2 is phenomenal. I'm going to spoil it right now. It's my favorite out of the 5 that I played. Just going to put that out there. Ezio is such a cool character. He's a fun character to play. The combat is way better. The stealth system is way better. The plot is way better. And throwing in the Easter egg of being able to find Altair's armor. They did a fantastic job with making the side quests seem worth doing. Which is a thing a lot of games really struggle with. Like, I saw that side quest and I was like, fuck yeah, I want Altair's armor. I'm absolutely doing this. And overall, it's just a fantastic game. I mean, I really have no complaints about it, except that sometimes during free running, the controls got a little bit kind of wonky, but like, building up the villa was cool. It was an easy way to introduce like how to make money and stuff. Just an overall fantastic game. Brotherhood and Revelations, I'm gonna say, are basically interchangeable. If I'm being honest, they really did not change the formula up much between those 2 games. And I even said it to my friends at one point. I said, you could have told me at any point when I was playing these 2 games that I was playing the other game. Like, when I was playing Brotherhood, you could have said, hey, you're playing Revelations. And outside of the fact that the actual location of the game would have changed, like the city you're in, I wouldn't have been able to tell you the difference. That being said, they're both really good. They're both really good games. Like, I don't have too much complaints other than the fact that, like, the formula gets a little tired by the end of Revelations. Because they don't change it all that much. That and the plot gets kind of funky. They do a little bit of a shark jumping at points. I'll say that. But they're both really good. I actually need to add a tier below. I'm gonna add a middle tier because AC3 is such a weird game, dude. I'm gonna put it out there and just say I don't really think it's good. Like, to me, the way this tier list is working is this is like decent. It's just like fantastic, great, solid, decent, like mediocre. AC3 has a lot of problems. And a lot of problems that are like really unfortunate, I think. I didn't feel compelled to do any of the side quest stuff. Like, at no point did the game give me a reason to do any of that stuff. Like, AC2, they dangled that armor out in front of me, and I was like, yeah, I'm absolutely doing this. AC3, there's no reason to do any of that stuff. The side quest stuff was irrelevant. The only side quest stuff I kind of wanted to do was just ship combat, because the ship combat I think was actually really, really cool. But that meant I would have had to play the game for longer, and by 3 hours in, I wanted to be done with this game. The combat somehow got worse from Brotherhood and Revelations to 3. The graphics somehow got worse. They had a really interesting idea for the setting in, colonial America during the Revolution, and they completely botched it. Like, the shot heard round the world cutscene was like a good maybe 2-3 minutes. If you're gonna make a world and build a game around the idea of colonial revolutionary America, that is one of the most consequential things to happen in the history of the world, point blank period. And so you're building a game around the idea of revolutionary America, and you give the shot heard around the world like a 30-second shit cutscene. The Paul Revere missions were annoying. Those missions where you were commanding the colonial troops, basically playing a real-time strategy game, and you had to tell them when to fire. That fucking sucked. And Connor. Let me finish eating these fries before I start talking about Connor, because boy, I have a lot to say about Connor. I have some opinions, man. Let me go wash my hands. We're going to talk about Connor real quick. We gotta fucking talk about Connor. I genuinely think Connor might be the single biggest missed opportunity character of all time. There's a lot of really cool shit they could have done with Connor. First and foremost, the exploration of the exploitation of the indigenous people in this country during the Revolutionary War by both sides, both the British and the Patriots, could have been a really interesting way to explore a character like Connor. And they did basically nothing with that. Like, there was a small subplot where he was like, George Washington's a traitor. Oh, wait, no, he's not. Never mind. Fuck my dad. That, like, wasn't really touched on all that much. And he sucks as a character, dude. Like, I get it. You know, they wanted to portray him as like a serious kind of like deadpan character. Some people have said and speculated that that might be based on, you know, the interpretation of the indigenous people in this country at the time, where the British and the Americans kind of discussed them in a way that they were very straight to the point, very serious, very right to it, right? You can do a character like that. Like, it was always going to be a rough transition away from the swashbuckling playboy Ezio, who is a lot easier of a character to relate to and get into. But you can do a deadpan, serious, straight-laced character. I just watched a show called 91 Days. It's a very good anime. I would highly recommend it. And Avilio Bruno, the main character, is very much straight, deadpan, serious, cold as ice all the time type character. But it's the little subtleties of a character like that where you see those moments of like anger and vengeance and violence in a character like Avilio, where it comes out every now and then in his speech patterns, what he does, the way he looks at people. You can do a character like that, and when you do a character like that, those subtle hints of emotion are that much more powerful and that much more impactful. Connor doesn't have any of that. He just is deadpan. There's shit that he should be angry about that he doesn't get angry about, and then when he does get angry at Achilles, it just comes off as like this wet like a napkin, like this flat, just ugh. Like, I'm not convinced that he's even really angry. It's a total miss of a character. The game's combat isn't that good. They fucked the setting. They had a fantastic idea for the setting, and they didn't make good on any of it. It's bad. The only reason it's not as bad as AC1 is because, like, it's more playable and less repetitive, but it's not that good. I'm telling you right now, it's really not that good. I'm almost convinced to put it in C tier, but I'm gonna leave it here for now. So I played the Spyro trilogy in Reignited, and I don't really remember there being that much of a difference between the three, if I'm being honest. But I do remember liking the second one the best. Do I like them as much as Infinite? No, I don't. I would do this. They're decent games, but I might do this actually. Like, they're decent games, don't get me wrong, but the fetch quest of it all, they don't really do a lot to like kind of keep you hooked for the most part. Like, you can do a good fetch quest game that like keeps the player engaged. There's just not a ton of substance, I don't think. Yeah, the more I think about it, I'm gonna do this actually. Fuck this game. They're not bad. I wouldn't go out of my way to play them again, though. Kind of similar feeling with Crash Bandicoot. They're not terrible, but like, I wouldn't exactly go out of my way to play them. I don't remember any difference really between these three at all, except for the fact that I like two the best. Oh, the Spyro games? Fuck the side character missions. That shit was trash. Having to do those side character missions was fucking garbage. Awful. Just absolutely awful. But I liked Crash Bandicoot, the N. Sane Trilogy. I mean, I liked it enough to make it the stretch goal for this year if we hit 1250. But I'm not particularly going out of my way to play them again. I do think they're fun, but I wouldn't go crazy over it, I don't think, really. I'm just gonna get this out of the way now. Mass Effect is a fucking fantastic series. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Mass Effect is incredible. I'm so happy I decided to play this game. I was really hesitant on playing this. Really hesitant. And the reason I was hesitant on it was because all I had heard was the ending sucks, it's trash, it's not worth your time. You're going to put all this time and effort into a game for the ending to be one of the most unsatisfying things you've ever seen in your life. And I was like, do I really want to play 3 entire games to end up unsatisfied with an ending? Not really. But man, I'm so glad I did. And shout out to Tim, because he's the one that really kind of pushed me to play this game series. Like, holy shit, it's so good. Mass Effect 1, really, really good. It's basic, but it definitely is a fantastic game. Like, you immediately get the impression that, like, what you're doing matters and your choices really impact this universe. And fighting the Reaper at the end is one of the scariest goddamn things I've ever done in my life. That shit was intense. And I personally love game series where your choices matter. That's why I love RPGs. And so for a game series like this, where like this shit impacts the rest of your playthrough. You kill somebody in the first game, they're not coming back for game 2 and 3. Like, they're gone. You fucked. Like, you're fucked, not you fucked. You fucked. So you immediately get that impression. Like, the combat can be a little whatever. Exploring the planets can be a little bit of whatever. I didn't really do all that much with that stuff. But the story's really good. The gameplay's really good. Fantastic. Mass Effect 2 is without a doubt the best game I've played while doing this little series of playing old games. God damn, is it such a good game. I think it strikes the perfect balance of giving the player options and stuff to do, but not being overwhelmed, which is a problem with Mass Effect 2, or Mass Effect 3. There's enough stuff to do in Mass Effect 2 that you don't feel like you're getting shorted on the game. Because you can do all the side characters, like, side missions, and get all their loyalty up and stuff like that. But you don't really have to. The Elusive Man is kind of a whatever character, in my opinion, because, like, duh, no shit, the guy's evil. Like, you just know that, like, right from the start, but, I didn't even really care. Getting to explore all these side characters and their stories, and some of the side characters are so cool, like Legion, the Geth. Dude, he's so cool. He is such an awesome fucking character. I have one single gripe with this game, and that's that I was romancing Garrus, and he fucking died off screen in the last mission. I kept him away from me. I was like, I'm going to send him with the group that's theoretically safer, and off screen because I was afraid they were going to give me a quick time event to save his life, and then I was going to fuck it up and he was going to die. Well, guess what? He fucking died anyway. They killed my boyfriend. God damn it. But all the other characters are so cool. Morden is awesome. The blue woman, whose name is escaping me, who becomes the information broker. She's so cool. They're also cool. I only didn't do one of their side missions. That was Jack's side mission because I didn't give a fuck about her. She was a bastard. But yeah. Introducing the new style of combat with the new weapons, giving you all these really awesome side characters, letting you bring these side characters on missions with you, like a grunt. Really, really cool. Yeah, it's so cool. Fantastic game. You'd reverse Bioshock 1 and 2. While I explain why I like Mass Effect 3, tell me about why you would reverse Bioshock 1 and 2, because I'm curious about that. Mass Effect 3 had a couple of hiccups, primarily being that it could get very, very overwhelming. There was so much to do in that game, like so many quests. Holy Christ, so much to do. That I honestly really had like an experience of like FOMO, where I was like, am I not doing this right? Like, do I need to do all these things? I don't think I have to. The whole like you need to get loyalty stuff. There was a lot, but it's still a really, really good game. I mean, they introduced some really other cool characters like Edie and Jack and all them. Or not Jack, the Joker. And there's a lot of like really neat things you can do, like hosting that party before you do like the big battle and all these other decisions you make. It's so good. The only reason it's not higher is because I think it overwhelms the player a little bit. There's too much to do. And that's never a fun feeling when you're like, okay, I feel like I've played enough of this game. Like, I'm ready to kind of move on, but I feel like I'm fucking up if I don't play more of it. And I can totally understand why the ending pissed a lot of people off, because the ending is very ambiguous as far as, like, when you make that final choice. It's not super clear what you're choosing. Like, they're like, oh, if you do this, this will happen. If you do B, this will happen. But they don't make it obvious which terminal is A and terminal B, so can understand why people were pissed. If I played through 60 hours and I got an unsatisfying ending, yeah, I'd be a little upset. Bioshock 1 was just so iconic, and Andrew Ryan was the GOAT. 2 is very good, but I just don't remember the story well. I can remember Bioshock 1. Yeah, Bioshock 1 is a really, really good game. Like, absolutely. I like Bioshock 2 a little bit better because I like the combat a little bit better. And I like the idea of, like, being the big daddy and just being, like, this big badass kind of character. But honestly, I wouldn't be mad at anybody who says Bioshock 1 is better. Like, they're both such good games. They really are. Fallout New Vegas. I like Fallout New Vegas a lot. I'm going to put it here. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe putting it above Brotherhood, but I'm going to put it kind of in the middle because, like, Brotherhood and Revolutions are kind of interchangeable, but I like Fallout New Vegas a lot. The reason I don't think it's S tier, because I know a lot of people might get upset about me putting it in A. There's a couple of things that I think maybe needed a bit of adjustment. And it may be just like from playing modern RPGs where these kind of things are implemented and kind of going back to a game system where it's maybe not necessarily implemented in those ways because it wasn't thought about like that back then. But couple of things. One, level scaling is not that great. I played the game for about 20 hours. And I was like, okay, I've played about 20 hours. I've done a lot of the side quests. Like, I've even swapped which main quest I was doing at one point, so I did more main quest stuff. I was like, all right, I think I'm ready to, like, move on, play a different game. 20 hours seems like a good first playthrough. Like, let's go do the final battle, right? And because of the path I picked, I had to fight Caesar's Legion's boss, and you are so desperately under leveled for him if you haven't been grinding. And I think that they could kind of mitigate that with like a simple, hey, before you go into the final battle at Hoover Dam, here's a suggested level. Like, if you want to go for it under leveled, like, they're not going to stop you, but here's a suggested level. It made me so mad that I actually uninstalled the game at one point, and I had to just go to bed, sleep it off, reinstall it, and finish it the next day. Two, another problem I have with Caesar's Legion specifically is you get introduced to them pretty early on in a game, and you're not introduced to you in the most polite of ways. And so I was like, these guys are assholes. They're like hanging people and crucifying people. Like, I'm going to do something about this. So I fought them in that one town. You're fucked. You do that, you're fucked. Like, you have to just leave them alone. Because the problem is, if you do that, for the rest of your playthrough, they send out these random assassin hitman parties with like 3 or 4 dudes that rinse the shit out of you. And it's so annoying to be in the middle of on your way to a main quest or some other quest and have to stop for 20 minutes to fight these fucking people. And it's not just once or twice, it is over and over. And that is, in my opinion, that's just bad game design. To introduce somebody to something so early on in the quest line, in the story. It's like one of the first towns you go to that you can just get fucked that easily. A little bit of a miss. And my third problem is I get why they did this. They really did a good job of making the world feel post-apocalyptic, in that when you're traveling from town to town and exploring and trying to find side quests, you're just going to happen upon shit that you shouldn't be at and just get killed for it. The thing that sucks about that is it really kind of dissuaded me from exploring too much, because I was like, I just spent 20 minutes trekking across the desert to get murked by a Deathclaw. And would that happen in a real post-apocalyptic scenario? Yeah, absolutely. You would just get fucking clapped by some random radiated beast. But it kind of made me very weary of exploring in a lot of ways, which sucks because RPGs are meant for exploring. So I think if they maybe like level focused a little bit harder and put some of the harder enemies in maybe some of the later parts that you would be exploring, I think that would go a long way. All of that to say, the game is really good, and I would recommend people play it. Like, if somebody asked me, should I play Fallout New Vegas, I would say absolutely. I would warn them about these things, but I would recommend they play it. Catherine is a pretty good game. It's a puzzle platformer with some, like, JRPG visual novel style elements, if you haven't played it. It's pretty good. I will say there were some boss and mini-boss levels that sucked. The mini-boss levels where the screen would go black and other things like that with the monster chasing you from below were really kind of annoying. Because the whole point is you're doing a puzzle platformer, and so, like, you're solving how to get up this tower, and the screen going black in the middle of something chasing you kind of really sucks a lot and makes for a very frustrating experience. I think that's like the game's biggest downfall. Like, yeah, some of the puzzles are difficult. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I did have to look up, I think, 2 how to do them. But I got through the majority of them on my own with just grinding. I think the biggest downfall is definitely the mini boss. And it didn't matter to me that much because it didn't like impact me as the player, but the main character is an irredeemable piece of crap. Like, he cheats on his girlfriend the first time, and instead of just like coming clean about it, he tries to hide it, and then it happens again. And granted, like, you figure out later on that like she's basically, the other Catherine's basically making it happen. But Yeah, he's just kind of irredeemable. Is really the issue. He had so many outs to his dilemma, and he just didn't take any of them really. So yeah, that that's it doesn't impact my enjoyment of the game that much, but it is a factor. And Star Wars Empire at War, I'm gonna put here. Um, Empire at War is awesome. I only played through the Rebel campaign or the Empire campaign, and so I do intend to go back and play the Rebel campaign and specifically play some of the mods because my friend who bought me the game actually uh, highly recommended that I play through some of the mods like Thrawn's Revenge, and I'm a big uh, Galactic Republic fan. Like I love the Clone Army and all that stuff. So you said that there's also Republic at War, the mods and stuff like that, but the game is still really really good. The more I think about it, I'm actually gonna bump this down. I don't think it's that good. um, it's really good. There's a couple of hiccups here and there, like some of the units pathing gets a little meh. Some of the units are like blatantly overpowered in the base game, like the Rebel artillery is blatantly broken. Some of the maps are quite annoying, having to like hunt down one random Rebel unit that's like hiding out in a corner somewhere to finish the mission. Sometimes the AI just fucking gets you. Like I had a fleet above a planet waiting to invade, and while I was literally clicking and dragging the unit down, the rebels launched a space battle and fucked my fleet, blew up like 30 of my units. So it can be a little bit unforgiving for sure, um, but overall it's a really good game. Very good RTS. The land battles can get kind of repetitive, to be honest with you. The space battles are definitely where it's at when it comes to this game. They're way better than the land battles. Some of the missions require you to kind of throw tactics out the window and kind of just spam in the space battles, but still, it's overall a really solid game and I can't complain. Overall, yeah. I mean, I think I'm pretty happy with this list. Mass Effect, fantastic game series. I guess if we talk about series by series. Batman, Arkham, would I recommend it to people? Yep, absolutely. I would just kind of warn them about Arkham Knight being a little meh. Mass Effect, I could not recommend this series enough. It is so, so good. Highly worth the 60 plus hours, and I only put in 60 hours. Like you can easily put in like 90, I think, through all three games. Assassin's Creed, would I recommend? Yes, I would recommend with kind of an asterisk. I would say you don't need to play one. I was told that. Steve and Tim both said, bro, just don't even bother playing one, and so did James. James was like, just don't even bother. I bought them in a bundle, and I was like, I want to play through one, even though I know it's bad, because I kind of want to get into the series and start from the beginning. I would say if I was recommending it to play to anybody, I would say you can skip one, but just watch like a cutscene movie. And if you care about the IRL stuff, you can watch the cutscene movie with 3, but otherwise, just don't fucking play 3. It's not good. So I would recommend Assassin's Creed with an asterisk, in that it has, out of the 5 that I played, 3 really good games and 2 really, really bad games. What are the BioShock, of course. I mean, yeah, without a doubt, I would recommend BioShock to people. Just as long as you go into Infinite knowing that it's not BioShock 3, and that's not their intention, and they were very smart to not name it BioShock 3. But if you go into BioShock Infinite with an open mind, just be like, okay, yeah, it's a BioShock game, but it's going to be a little different. They're trying something different, but it's in like the spirit of BioShock. Yeah, I would absolutely recommend BioShock. Crash Bandicoot, yeah, I would say it was fun. I mean, if you like platformers and you don't mind games where just the flat reality of the situation is you're going to be dying over and 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 over again, then yeah, the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was fun. Spyro, I would leave it up to the person. If they like fetch quest type stuff, sure, you could do it. But if you're not really into that, I was bored halfway through Spyro 2, if I'm being completely honest. Like, actually, why do I have Spyro 2 up here? I was bored halfway through Spyro 2, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like, the fetch quest shit was just like, enough is enough. So out of like all the series that I've played, really the only one that I would kind of maybe not recommend off the bat would be Spyro, and then I would soft recommend Crash, but not really hard recommend it. The rest of these though, I mean, yeah, they're really good. Like, they're fantastic. Yeah, Mass Effect is so good. Bioshock is so good. I think it's funny that a lot of the times I like the second game, Mass Effect 2, Assassin's Creed 2, Bioshock 2, in the top three. My favorite Crash game was Crash 2. The only one that that second game wasn't my favorite was Spyro and the Arkham series. So yeah, that's the tier list. What do you guys think? Does anybody have any recommendations for like older games that you think I should go back and play at some point? Because I'm always looking for recommendations. I'm currently playing through the Yakuza series. I also have to finish another Crab's Treasure that I started this morning. Let's see. If I can tell you exactly. Oh, there's a patch for Jesus Christ Simulator. Okay. I guess I'll download that while we're just doing like a food block and just not really caring too much. So if the stream quality dips while I'm downloading this, yeah, you know why. I'm just downloading a quick patch. What's it called? Oh, it's just a small patch. Okay, it's already done downloading. It just needs to install. So I've played through Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, and 3 remastered. So my current plan is to finish another Crab's Treasure, then Yakuza 4, then Fate Extella Link, which I bought on sale, then Yakuza 5, and I think that's it. And then I'm trying to like break the games up a bit because I realize like playing them back to back to back to back isn't fair to the game. Because like, yeah, sure, by the end of Assassin's Creed Revelations, it's like, okay, the formula is getting a bit boring, but they weren't released back to back to back like that. Like, these games had years in between their releases, or maybe even like just a year. But is that the mysterious Spleben? Splooben. So I'm trying to break them up by not playing them back to back because it's not really fair to the game because like people weren't playing them back to back like that. They were playing them and then like a year later playing it again. So I'm trying to break them up to keep it a little bit more fresh in my mind. But after Yakuza 5, maybe I might try to pick up Alan Wake 2 on sale at some point because I really do want to play Alan Wake 2. I heard it's really good. People are really liking it, and I liked Alan Wake 1. I thought it was a good game. Some other games that like I've considered playing through during this like old game series run is like maybe Red Dead Redemption 2, because people love that game. The only thing that's kind of making me nervous about RDR2 is the fact that it's like a 60-hour game. Just to play the main quest, like that's a long commitment just for one game. But people say it's really good, so I think it might be worth it. You can use that plate, by the way, if you want. There's just chocolate chip cookie crumbs on it. So. Yeah, but that's my list right now. Beat Another Krebs Treasure, then Yakuza 4, Fate Excel Link, Yakuza 5, maybe Alan Wake 2, and then Yakuza 6, which I only bought up to 6. I don't really intend to play the Like a Dragon series because it's different, like turn-based combat, a little bit different of a system than Yakuza, and I don't really know if I'd be into that. So maybe not. I might check out Like a Dragon at some point, but it's not on my list currently. So I know I have the boring straw, Nick. I didn't have time. Not that I didn't have time. I just straight up didn't. I didn't wash the other straws, so I kind of blew it. You blew it, Eeyore. So that's pretty much that. We'll kill some time while Schbieben is eating his pizza. It's not Little Caesars, though. We don't have one really near us. And Little Caesars trash anyway.
Yeah, not anymore. They used to have it in Kmart's, which tracks.
I've never had a Little Caesars pizza.
It's okay. It's not great.
So we'll just kill some time here. We do have the bad games block coming up, but I'll hop in a game of For Honor quick while we're waiting. No biggie. Something quick, something easy. Actually, I should play War Thunder and get mad and scream. Just get angry. But yeah, if you guys have any recommendations about old games you think I should pick up, preferably on Steam, just because that's the easiest way to do it. But you know, I'm being sent Snapchats while I'm streaming from somebody who's in the chat. Nick, you absolute baboon. Why would you do this to me? You guys are in for a treat. With the bad games block, by the way. Boy, howdy, do we have... Huh?
It's always good, but this year's going to be special.
Yeah. RE4, true. I do want to play a Resident Evil game. I've never played through a Resident Evil game. And I think Tim said the same thing about Resident Evil. I think he recommended RE4.
Fourth one's probably the best one, yeah.
That's a good point. I should pick up RE4 next time it's on sale. Oh, this is unplugged. Hey guys, it would help if I plugged my controller in. I got fucking smoked on this game the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was getting shit on.
Imagine, like we say, right? The people that are still playing it since it came out.
Yeah, there are some people that, like... There are some characters in this game that are just straight up bogus. Like, not even capping. I had to update Jesus Christ Simulator.
Oh boy, I wonder what they added.
Are there patch... Oh, there's probably patch notes, actually. I fixed some issues with Mech Jesus? What? I know it's the Lawbringer thing. I'm gonna play a duel against the AI real quick. Just to warm up my parry timing. And then we'll play some duels. I'm not gonna get involved in a Dominion match right about now. Those are too long. Those can go on for like 10-15 minutes. Just do a couple duels. I'm gonna get fucking smoked, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So how did your block this morning go?
Pretty good. Played War Thunder for a little bit. Had a couple games of squad.
War Thunder. By the way, if anybody in chat is thinking, should I play War Thunder? The answer is absolutely no. It's...
I could never in good faith recommend War Thunder to anyone.
We kind of recommended it to James, but that's because we were acting in bad faith.
Yeah.
War Thunder
That's
or
not what I
Bust.
play with.
I will play War Thunder. If you want me to play a game of War Thunder, Nick, I will play a game of War Thunder. Those don't last too long for me. I usually die in about 10 seconds. Nick, I'll let you pick War Thunder. I'll let you pick the country, either America, Sweden, either the U.S. or Sweden, and you have to pick a number. Actually, hold on, Nick, pick first, U.S. or Sweden. And then I'm gonna have you pick a number, even though you're not gonna know what the number means. Sweden and 5.0 Sweden. Okay. There's some stuff there, I think. Let me just body this AI one more time. Sweden 5.0. I know the 4.0 lineup. But Sweden 5.0 I think is a bit odd. I might have to bump that either down to 4.7 or 5.3, but he said 5, so I guess we can bump that up to 5.3. I think they have a decent 5.3 lineup if I remember correctly. I think it's the PT, the Dalat Tour. I think I have the IKV 103 in that lineup because it's, even though it's a 4.0, it's 105 millimeter heat. Heat FS. Nope, his shield is floating. $60 game, by the way. Not anymore, but it was $60 when I bought it. Sweden 5. Alright, what do we got? I know the US 5.3 lineup. That thing fucks. Even though you get small PP, Sherman, Jumbo, and it makes me sad.
Hey, man.
At its own BR, though, that's still pretty good.
The Sherman is a Sherman, bro. It's gonna do Sherman things, you know?
Yeah, I'm not going to put the game category just yet, Nick, because we're just killing time for right now. There's an incompatible easy anti-cheat software is already running. Huh? Huh? Just like eat my mic.
Like, that was like Kermit the Frog.
Just chatting. I could put just chatting, yeah. We're not going to be just chatting for that much longer, though. We got 2 hours of bad game block coming up, man. We got shit to do, okay?
Bad game to play.
We have really bad games to play. We had a game. I wanted to do a game that was so bad it didn't even work. Safety Moto Driving Simulator straight up didn't work. I couldn't control it. You could go, but you couldn't steer. So I just was driving in a straight line the whole time. Alright, Sweden.
I'm playing this game for Navy.
Yeah, just play World of Warships.
It's just a better game.
Sweden 5.3. What do I got? PT76 Dalat Tour. Oh, the PVKV.
You have a 5.0 lineup too.
Oh, the PVKV.
Yeah, that one's probably better.
He did say Sweden 5, so we'll queue up Sweden 5.0. That's fine. Is this going to expire tomorrow? Okay, I still have time for that. This is 2 days. All right, Sweden. You wanted this, Nick. This is you. This is your fault. You're making me play the PVKV.
Good kid.
Such a piece of shit.
Can he get machine guns?
Piv, Kiv, and then like 5. It's your boys. Fuck you, Nick. Dickhead. You did give me the Dalat Tour, so I am happy about that. Oh wait, don't I have the 4-point shit? I need to change out this for the anti-2. Alright, you want the PVKV? You got it. Here you go, brother. With this absolute piece of shit. I non-penned that the other day, by the way. The glass.
Really?
Yeah. I non-penned it with the fucking Persian. 90 mil AP. I think because it's like I hit it like kind of here, so it was like angled and it like caught the hitch. So I think I got volumetric.
Bro, when you sometimes in this game when you do things and it just doesn't work, you're like, the only reaction you have is what?
That's a fucking glass thing with windshield wipers. You're gonna tell me the windshield wipers add like 60 mils of armor?
Bro, it has 100 mils of armor. What are you talking
Oh
about?
shit, we're fighting the US at 5.0. Shermans are like so tanky against my things.
For that machine gun for the canvas housing.
Yeah.
Or the turret base. On the west side of the turret base.
One other thing that sucks about the PVKV is look how zoomed in you are. So like it's really hard to judge distances with this thing. Oh no, 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 no. I'm dead. Fuck.
Critted him. I wonder what he looks like. Alright, well then what's
I
the
think I
crit?
engined him, if anything. This thing fucks though. I love the Delator. Only thing is, you have no armor. But that's kind of just Sweden up until you get to top tier. Until you get to like the IKV, or the STRV like 103, the cheese wedge. None of your shit has armor except for your Finnish vehicles when you have like the T-34 and like the Russian shit that the Finns get. Other than that though, yeah. That's why Sweden can be like really frustrating to play sometimes. Because you just get one shot by everything. It really kind of sucks. Oh shit, 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 shit. He's still there. He's bad, he missed. I missed, but it's okay, I have an autoloader and he doesn't know that. Okay, he's not peeking, he might know that. I canyon breached him. Get fucked, shitter. If he didn't go back too far, I might even be able to overpressure him. Like by hitting a rock behind him. Nah, he's smart. Somebody kill that Italian man. Oh, that's like a British vehicle. Oh, it's dead. He was a Churchill. So not to bring up politics on the stream, we're gonna not talk about politics, but objectively it was really funny that JD Vance was like, brought back racism against the Irish and Italians. He like made some reference to some movie about like, oh, you see when these like groups move into these neighborhoods and they get really bad, and it was about like the Irish and Italian mobs. It's like, that's a bold strategy. You know where he did it?
Where?
At a police union.
Oh, where they're mostly Irish. You mean like the whitest, the like most white Irish and white Italian job you could think of? Like,
I was
being
like,
more Italian's like a fucking garbage man.
I'm in sanitation, ma.
Yeah, that's like, and that's only like Italian because the mob used to just have no-show jobs. Bro, I was watching the show Pulse King with my dad.
Fuck. Hello.
And it's about Sylvester Stallone, who was like a mobster, like it's the whole thing. He goes to Tulsa or whatever, and they're like, his new driver's like, what should I tell people you are? He goes, tell them I'm an industrialist. He goes, what the fuck does that mean? He goes, exactly, what the fuck does it mean?
No, please. Oh my god, stop lighting me on fire. Somebody shoot that man.
What is it? Fish on me.
Yeah.
You overpowered you.
Yeah, I made a sheet metal. Can I bomb him? I can. I don't have bombs for this thing.
You can strike him with the cannon. Maybe,
God damn
from the
it.
top deck.
Alright, we're gonna use the big funny. We'll use the big funny and then we'll get into the big game, the group, fucking bad games block. Jesus! Hey, where should we put the optic for this thing? Like, should we make it so, because we're kind of low to the ground, should we put the optic like a bit higher so that way the commander can see it? No, just put a fucking window. Okay. Won't that expose the commander? Yeah, maybe.
You know when he has accidentally put a shell through there?
You know what's fucked up to think about? if you put a shell directly through there, it would hit the, like an HE shell, it would hit the back and then blow up. So like your head would explode this way, like through the front of the vehicle.
You would get turned into spaghetti.
Is that fucking Sherman still up there? Where is that bastard? I'm the only one over here. That is a recipe for success with a like 15-second reload. And heat. Heat FS.
Well, at least they're the most reliable on ground.
Mm-hmm. Gaijin surely hasn't fucked it up. Oh, is he still up there?
Second only to
Nah,
Shingo.
he's dead. Damn it. That's a dead Schweiman. Hey, I guess at least it's not APDS, which like
It's actually just unusable.
straight up doesn't work. Or hash. I don't know if this is still the case, but Spookston was saying in a video at some point that Gaijin fucked up hash and it didn't overpressure. It's like, hey Gaijin, what are the first two letters in hash stand for? Real quick. Oh, high explosive? Okay. Nope, no overpressure for you. Oh, okay.
Gaijin just does whatever they want, bro.
Straight up. I just wish they'd be honest.
Remember when Spookson literally like submitted to them like a historical like documentation and stuff, or the like that like outlined the thing? They're like, yeah, no. And it's like, what do you mean no? I'm literally giving you the U.S. Army Field Manual on this.
I get it. Like, to a certain extent, you can't just strictly make everything historical. If you also, like, need to balance the game, but that's what BRs are for. So, like, if you've already set this precedent of we're modeling these things as historically accurate as we can get them, then your balancing mechanic just straight up has to be the BRs. You can't balance tanks like after the fact, unless you like it's a paper tank, and then you can just do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Yeah, that's like a 100 or something.
Where enemy? So I get it to a certain extent, but also like, yeah, it's just like, I appreciate the fact that they're committed to being historical, but then when somebody presents you a document that's historical record, you can't say, well, we're not doing it because this would be unbalanced. It's like, well, that's just too fucking bad.
You can't have your
Honestly.
cake and eat it too, you know?
You can't say that shit when you have the fucking mouse in the game. You can't say it would be unbalanced, we can't do it when that thing exists. That thing is fucking dumb to like the nth degree.
Bro, I was fighting one with like an M103 that I couldn't pen from the side.
What are you? Oh. Oh, it's this stupid thing that counts as closed top. He sees me. Get him, T-3457. Get him! I can't push him. He can machine gun me. I need help. Get him. Get him. Oh, dun 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 dun. Okay. He turned. I thought my teammate was pushing him. He was pushing him, but okay. We're not spawning in the AA gun. We're gonna get set up for the bad games block here. Fuck this. Thanks for Sweden 5.0, Nick. Really appreciate it. Great BR, dude. It actually isn't that bad. I just got fucked. Sweden 5.3 is better, but 5.0 is not terrible. I wish you said Sweden 4.0 though. That line of fucks. Sweden 4.0 is sick nasty with it. Yeah. Yeah, Tuscan Raiders.
Be like vaguely racially insensitive.
Kind of, yeah. Alrighty then, folks. Hit you with the
Just check out.
Mr. Hat or whatever.
The Hat Man.
Oh no, not the Hat Man.
The Hat Man cometh.
He cometh and he taketh away.
Cometh off the Benny.
The Hat Man giveth, the Hat Man taketh away.
He mostly taketh away, let's be real here.
I mean, listen, I think you're taking away brain cells if you're dealing with the Hat Man. I mean, you know how much Benadryl you have to take?
Alright, let's start with the one that I think is going to be the least amount of content.
Oh god, what is this?
Let me make a tweet.
Rob's making tweet.
Yep, cool. Caps lock. Okay. Try to not make it so you can hear the game through the mic, but it's just surprising my neighbor